Good evening. Welcome to the Fred McNair radio show on this Monday night. I'm Charles Edmond, head coach Fred McNair here in studio. Our producer in Studio A, Jamario Brooks. Coach, good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Charles. Thanks, man.
And Emmanuel Barnes, of course, you all know him. He does the games with me on the road. Keisha is here with the tweets, and we say good evening to Keisha.
Hello.
How is everything going? A lot of tweets have come in, apparently.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get to those coming up. We'll get to your phone call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. And in case you miss any, some, or all of this show live, you'll be able to follow it by going to my Facebook page, Charles Edmond, or Twitter, Tall Man Radio, and I'll repost the show as soon as this is over with. Well, Coach, a lot of people thought it was going to be a lopsided, one-way type of game, but this team felt otherwise, and through the first 30 minutes, we were right there, but the turnover bug kicked in, and Arkansas kind of pulled away in the second half.
You know, I thought just coming out in the first half, the guys played extremely hard, and they really fought. With a team like Arkansas, a ranked team in the top 25, the way the kids performed and the way they just came out and played. I thought that they really just fought through it and gave great effort through everything that they did all during that game. And just like I said, the first half was extremely hard fought. And just like I said, the turnover bug hit us during the second half, and we just got to eliminate the turnovers as far as playing football.
We apologize for that little tone right there, Coach, but this team had some opportunities. The offense was there. We're able to move the football.
Yes, you look at it, and we go down, we score. Then right before halftime, we got an opportunity to get within 10 at 14-20-24 there, and we just had a little malfunction. I think the crowd noise kind of got us down there in the end zone where we was at, and I know Dave, he kind of bopped the snap a little bit and ended up hitting the receiver that was coming in motion. But if we scored there, we got a little momentum swing going into halftime. So we miscued on that one, and we were able to score in halftime with a 24-7 lead.
All right, let's get to the highlights at 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. The Razorbacks won the toss, and we tried a little onside kick, Coach. Talk a little bit about that.
That was something that we saw during film time and all the week that what they did. Well, actually, the guy that we kicked at, actually he moved during our film study, so we thought we were going to get the same thing during the game time, but actually he stayed there. But we still got to get a good kick on that guy, and it hit him in the chest and actually bounced right in one of our guys' arms, and he lost it. So just trying to get a little surprise there, trying to get a little edge with those guys, but then you see it didn't work, and then the defense held them to 3 points, which were big.
So let's get right to the highlights. Arkansas started at their own 43, got to the 12, and had to settle for a 25-yard field goal by Cole Headland. So it was 3-0 at that point, 12-11 left in the first, and it was a good stance, Coach.
And that was a good stance, Charles, by those guys. And like I said, the defense, they really played hard and gave everything they had to go out and play hard for that possession. Even though we tried to onside kick and didn't get it, that was a big win for us right there, just to get 3 points from them.
Then Silas Spearman, he had some returns. Talk a little bit about Silas Spearman. We got the highlight of the ensuing kickoff as he's back there on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the guys we try to put in the play there as a return guy for us, and he got some good returns in the whole day, but just have one problem is he's got to hold on to the football on one of the returns he fumbled, but he's a great guy, and probably gonna try to get him some touches this week. With all the guys that's in there now. So he's a good player, and he's looking to contribute a whole lot to this program.
So Silas Spearman with a pretty decent return right here. So with that kickoff, and We'll see, Coach. I guess going forward, will he get a lot more touches on special teams, especially in the backfield?
Yeah, no, most definitely. That's one thing that we talk about on the coaching staff. Some of the guys that really not just playing a whole lot on offense to get to those special teams jobs and help us out in that way. And but he's a great guy, and just to play that caliber team and then get some good returns by our guys with the effort they gave, I think was very solid.
All right, so as we move forward here, with that run by Spearman, it was a short pass to McKenzie. The drive stalled in a 49-yard punt by Hayden McRaney. Drew Morgan with a 33-yard return, and Arkansas started at their own 29-yard line with 9:12 left here in the first quarter.
Well, actually, Foster, he's right on it. But what he failed to do, if he stays inside of the guy, he won't get beat. He pushed outside, and the receiver pushed outside at him, but he just overplayed that, and he right there on it. Just right in play. He just pushed outside a little bit more than he's supposed to on that technique. Just bad on that one.
So we're in position to make the plays you talked about. It was 10-0 with 9:03 left in the first quarter. The third Alcorn drive. 3 and out, McRaney a 37-yard punt. There was a block in the back by the Razorbacks, and Arkansas started at their own 25 with 7:38 left here in the first quarter. Big plays were a part of this game.
And that's one of the plays that I think we overshift too many gaps. We always talk about gap integrity, control your gap, and I think right then we shift over too far and just played out a gap, and they was able to hit us big on that play for 75 yards.
So at that point, it was 17-0, 7:22 left in the first quarter, and we talked about it, Coach. Big plays, a game like that, play here, play there. We could pick up a couple of first downs, slow the game down, but they had a big play right there. Playing in that type of venue, it was 48,000 plus there. You didn't want to fall behind big early.
And you're exactly right. It was a big stage for us, and we have to just set the tone of how we want to play and make them play down to what we normally do as far as tempo and all that kind of stuff. Just play our caliber football, and I think we kept it in perspective. At that point, to where we was in the game, and just like I said, later on in the second half, it kind of fell apart with turnovers. Situation.
The next Alcorn drive started at our own 22 with 7:22 left in the first quarter. And the drive stalled, picked up a couple of first downs. There was a chop block as well. It was looking for our first down of the game. So we finally pick up a first down on our third drive, just trying to settle things down.
Well, that's the biggest thing, just get an opportunity to pick up first downs and moving the ball and just stay above the chain. That's one of the things that we talked about, as a staff, just stand above the chains, make sure we don't get caught too far behind them. And I think we'll be okay with the executing and the plays we call. But, right there you see we picked up a first down, and just trying to get the players settled in on the first couple of drives, I think was the biggest key.
So the Razorbacks got another score here winding down the first quarter.
And you talk about kind of similar to the same play, with the safeties, just out of technique and just felt behind on that post route with the guy. And as far as technique, well, I just got to play better technique.
So it was 24-0 at that point, Coach. First 15 minutes, picked up a first down, but some big plays by Arkansas.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's a big play team, and it's something we've seen all week during film study. How they play and how they would love to sleep on the play action, and that's where it come from. Guys just really paying attention to the run. And which, anytime you got a running game like Arkansas now, you start to give up big plays on play action, and that's where it come from. So, we just got love to sleep on the run and fell apart right there on the pass.
It was 24-0 at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to the second quarter highlights as the Braves got something going late in the second quarter. We'll get you those highlights, your phone calls and tweets. We'll get to that coming up after this 1-minute timeout on the Fred McNair Radio Show. Show your Braves pride at home or the office by purchasing on state back-to-back swag champions delivered with their $20 each to make a great coffee table piece or table takeaway. Get yours today online by going to allcorn.edu/foundation. Or you can call Larry Smith at 601-877-2470 or send him an email, lsmith@allcorn.edu. Proceeds will benefit all football.
There's just one place where sports and superstars, athletes who play with courtesy and respect. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the two-way competition. Studies show that student athletes in Mississippi are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports. This message presented by the Mississippi High School Activities Association and the Mississippi Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, welcome back. We are live here at the Fred McNair Radio Show here on the Alcorn Football Radio Network. Let's get to the Twitter feed. A bunch of questions have come in. Let's get to Keisha. Good evening, Keisha. And what's the first tweet that's coming in?
Good evening. I have a question asking, is Foster playing outside corner in the best interest of our defense? He made more plays in the slot last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's having to be able to mix him in and out at that position, because depth-wise, at what we're battling right now at those positions, and he knows those positions as well as the younger guys, and you know, I think, you know, by him just trying to, and we talked about this morning with Coach Thomas, and him just trying to do too much instead of just doing his job is the biggest thing that he get caught up with in the secondary. But he's one of our senior leaders, and you know, and we expect a lot out of him and the things he does in the secondary. He make plays for us, you know, just being caught and in the wrong technique at that time. But yes, we will continue to play him in those roles.
And the Spearman fumble issues, is it a situation where he carries it wrong or needs gloves?
It's something that we work on every day in practice, and I think Coach Kice does it all. And with ball security, we do drills, and it's just that when it gets in a game, it just seems like they just handle the ball all loosely. And you know, his fumbling situation, I mean, he knows that he can't fumble, and one of them that he fumbled, he just never really just got it from the quarterback, and knowing that you have to make a pocket for it. But you know, it's just a situation that we just got to continue to stress and ball security.
All right, Keisha, we appreciate that. Don't forget, give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. As we get to the second quarter highlights, and the Braves, you know, in the first quarter, only 17 yards of total offense in the first 15 minutes. But in the second quarter, Alcorn had a second down and 12 from their own 37-yard line. He just continues, Coach, to make big plays.
I mean, anytime he get the ball in his hands, he's gonna do something with it. You know, I just wish he would have stayed outside on that run, and instead of trying to cut back towards the middle. And now he's seen on film today where if he stay outside, he may score or he'll get pretty close to it. But you know, he's done a terrific job for us catching the ball, and he's one of the guys that you can really trust in just catching the ball for us. You know, he got great hands and great speed, so we'll continue to do the good things with him and make sure that he get his touches.
So with the Braves, Tip McKenzie making something happen, how about Noah Johnson? He made something happen on this play. 1st and 10 from the Razorbacks 12. And that was a 9-play, 61-yard drive.
And that's the most impressive thing, the thing that we can do. I mean, if we just really lock in and execute the plays the way we should, and that's our biggest thing, just really executing. And that play there, he is outside zone play, and he reads the Mike linebacker, the Mike goes with the running back, and he pulls it and goes. So that's the thing that we need to get to doing, and just really executing and that drive there was a great drive for us to get on the scoreboard.
So Arkansas's next drive started with 10:44 left in the second quarter. They got to their own 25. They had a 3rd down and 2. Hammonds for a yard. Then it was 4th and 1. Interesting call by Brett Bielma deep in his own territory. He went for it. Great stand.
Just from the point of attack, defensive line pad levels low, and they win. They win the battle right there, and that's a big stand for us. Just a good motivation for us to be able to hold them on 4th down, which you very seldom see when they can run the ball as well as they do, and then we're able to hold them on 4th down right there.
So the Braves offense couldn't cash in on that. After we stopped them on 4th down defensively, Arkansas's next drive started at their own 15-yard line with 4:29 left. They got deep in the Braves' territory to the 26. Headland missed a 44-yard field goal. So our final drive of the first half started at their own 26-yard line with 1:51 left in the first half. Jalen Walker, 39-yard catch. McKenzie, a 16-yard catch. And we got to the Razorbacks' 1-yard line with 9 seconds left in the first half. Wow, his right, Coach McNair. I mean, we had a chance to really flip momentum going into the locker room.
A real good chance there, Charles. And, if you look at that play, we went back and looked at the play in the film. If you look at it, it should have been flags all over the place because we had 4 linemen just start early. The center didn't even snap the ball. So it should have been a flag there, but they let that one go. And by him snapping it late, he got the receiver that was in motion actually hit his leg, and that way we was unable to capitalize on that. But that was a momentum change for us, and we get that score. We go in 14-24.
Yeah, instead it was 24-7 at the half. 33 yards rushing, Coach. And what was your speech to the team in the locker room?
I just told them, just play hard. Just go out and fight. And that's the thing that they did. That these guys fought today, and I was very proud of those guys when they fought. We only played with 5 offensive linemen the whole game. That was the most impressive part. We had offensive linemen over there, but we did not sub one time for the offensive lineman because we had a couple of guys out with injuries and things like that. But we saw fit that these guys that started the right tackle and the left tackle had never started before. Those guys that comes in for mop-up duties and stuff like that. But we had to play those guys, and they did an outstanding job. The way they gave up just only 1 sack, the whole day meant a lot to this staff and what we can do as far as offense-wise and what we can do as far as depth when we got a depth pack.
Emmanuel Barnes is here in studio. You got a question?
Well, Coach Mills already started to address it, and you talked about it earlier. When you talk about the crowd, you talk about the noise, the band, all those people in the stadium, all the people outside, yet our team was not overwhelmed by that moment. They played well, and they played all the way to the end. And that was, in preparing them to do that, I don't know what goes into that, but you may just talk about that a little bit because they really were not overwhelmed by the situation, and they competed very hard all the way to the end.
Just being in that limelight in that situation where you go into a hostile environment where you got 50,000 people screaming at you and rooting the other team on, and it says a lot about our character of our team and the way we play with that crowd. But preparation is just like when you're talking to them, you have to get them ready for that as a coaching staff to know that where you're going is going to be you against them. All 50,000 and all however many players they got dressed out, but just prepare them that way and just make them understand that you've been on the stage before, you've been in SWAC championships, you've been in national championship games and in those situations. So it wasn't new to them, and they were ready for it, the whole thing, and ready to come out and play, and just prove that we were ready to play as a football team and not get blown out. The score doesn't justify the way these guys played the whole day. So I think, yes, we should have scored more points, no doubt. I think we had a chance to. But I'm so proud of the way these guys came out and put forth effort.
Okay, and to piggyback off what Mr. Barnes just mentioned, a tweet came in saying, "You never feel good about a loss, but were there some things that made the team feel good about themselves?" And a following tweet is, "What can be done to keep the team's effort and intensity level up from this point going forward?"
And that's the biggest thing. It's always a challenge, and when you talk about keeping a team motivated for the next game, and the thing is, and I talked to him in the team meeting today, and that we have to stay motivated in the same way you get ready to play an SEC team, and when you come back and play a team that's in your conference, you have to be ready to play, and I think they are. And just playing that game the way we played it, and they know, if they could play a team like that out of conference, and the pounding and the beating that they took, once you get back in conference, it should be a whole lot easier. But you can't look at it as being an easy job, but you got to look at it as a motivating thing, that when you're playing a team like that, what does it do for you when you play in the conference?
All right, 23 minutes, now 24 minutes after the hour. We'll get to the third quarter highlights, phone calls, tweets, have a bunch of those. And if you're looking for a ride to Huntsville, we'll talk about that as well. You have an opportunity to get on the bus. We'll talk about that in 1 minute on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
The SOD Club is a booster club for your sound of dynamite. Get out your phones now and join and donate. Let's help take the sound to New Dustin. This year, the SOD Club is sponsoring an instrument drive for the sound. Your membership or donation to the SOD Club will help us make new instruments a reality for our renowned name. Please visit www.sodclub.org. The SOD Club is contributing over $40,000 to the band. All memberships and donations are tax deductible. The SOD Club providing unwavering support to the Alcorn State University Marching Band program.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
All right, well,
WPRL 91.7 FM.
all right, welcome back. We have 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. We'll get into the third quarter highlights. Another tweet has come in from Mr. T. Coach, you talked about technique since day one, and he's concerned about when will it improve, and the fumbles are mounting. He's concerned about that with critical and all SWAC games coming up.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that, and that's something we addressed, every day about the fumbles and then just the technique and all that kind of stuff. So we continue to address that and continue to work on it. That's all we can do. I wish we could do something else with that, but we're just gonna continue to do the things that we think can correct those mistakes that we're making, and especially the fumbles. With those guys in that sense. So we just have to continue to try and just stress it out and with each and every player.
Well, as we get into the third quarter highlights, the Braves started at their own 26-yard line, moving the football, got to Arkansas's 33-yard line where it was 2nd down and 10. Yeah, well, that was tough because was it a high ball to you when you looked at the film?
No, actually, that's a ball that Noah Johnson probably would say, let me have it back, because if you look at the whole picture, we had empty sets and no linebackers in the box. They was all out. It's a run-pass option. We told him to read the box. That's supposed to be a run. But he felt he could make the throw, and still, we got to make the catch. Regardless, but if he had that one back, he'll probably run it.
So with that, the second drive, end of the first half, first drive of the third quarter, we had just talked prior to halftime how we've done a good job in not turning over the penalties. We kept those down, and then 2 drives in a row, back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah, that's something we always tried on. There's almost 6 in one hand, half a dozen other, where you stop all the penalties and then you still turn the ball over. Hopefully, we'll be able to put it all together real quickly. Because it's a sense of urgency right now in the things that we're doing to kill ourselves. It's nothing that the other team are doing to us. It's everything about what Alcorn doing to Alcorn. So we have to stop killing ourselves and shooting ourselves in the foot in those situations.
So we had 3 straight turnovers. The Razorbacks went up 38-7. Then the Braves with 5:44 left in the third quarter. Aaron Baker for 5, and then 2nd down and 5 right here. That was a big run there to kind of get things going again.
It was, and I think he was more afraid of the guys collapsing in on him and just taking the ball from him when he went down. But, nevertheless, we know the effort he gave on that play, just running the football the way he did, against a top caliber team like Arkansas, meant a lot to this team and the momentum that it carries.
So it was 38-10, Coach, at the end of the third quarter. We just continue to make plays, and despite the turnovers, we continue to march the ball up and down the field, I thought.
Oh, yeah, like I said, it's nothing that Arkansas really just done to really hurt us. It's just what we did to hurt ourselves in those situations. We continue to move the ball. Aaron Baker had a big run there, and, we tried a field goal from there, and, we got blocked. I mean, they got a 6'10" guy there, so kind of hard.
6'10"?
6'10", yes. He was every bit of 6'10", and so he's a tall guy. Actually, they started right tackle, so they put him down and blocked that field goal. So
Emmanuel Barnes called that one. From up in the box, you can't tell, but he
was every bit of 6'10".
Oh my gosh!
Every inch of the way.
Well, I didn't get to watch the game, but I was looking at Twitter and I noticed where there were a couple of NFL players talking about the game and basically said the same thing you just said, that it's not what Arkansas did to us. We kind of hurt ourselves with the turnovers, and it could have been a much closer game, but I mean, that just goes to show that the team they looked a lot better.
And that's like I told the team the whole week, bigger, faster, stronger. That's what the Arkansas team is, and they got the Buckets Watch guy, the linebacker. They got actually Demetrius Wise. I played against him in college. His son playing out there defensive end. So they had talent on the field. So it's just that like I said, we did everything that hurt ourselves, and Arkansas did hurt us. So if we just put it all together and hopefully it's a pivotal time of the year right now, get back in the SWAC play, that it's time for us to put a solid game together and play Alcorn style football.
All right, we'll take a time out here, get our station ID in. It's the bottom of the hour. Chelsea standing by Natchez. Stand by, Chelsea. We'll get to you on the other side of this 1-minute break halfway through the Fred McNair radio show. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah, he's at Bill 16.
John, don't leave me.
Somebody listening said that the commercials are louder than us. I don't know if it's a way you can adjust it.
Information on how you can become a member.
I was 6'4", 308 across the front.
That's right.
From tight end to tight end, because you make do the 2 tight ends. They say average 6'4", 308.
The fullback 44 was 6'4".
6'4". 2 of them tight ends, 6'7". They average 6'4",
It was
308
huge.
across the front.
It was
That's
huge.
a lot of ball. They can run. They should be able to run.
See that arm? Slide that up a little bit. Yeah, slide it up. Bring it down.
I can go back to college.
Yeah. Hey, big.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening live to the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
Some people impressed by they have a fit. They wonder why we wouldn't just go away.
I know it. That's what it says.
All right, halfway through the Fred McNair radio show here on this Monday night. Let's go to the phone lines. Our first call of the night, Chelsea calling in from Natchez, listening on our affiliate WMIS, WTYJ in Natchez. Good evening, Chelsea.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I want to first start by commending Coach McNair and his coaching staff as well as the team on such a job well done this past weekend. The team seems like they fought until the end, and that was really good. mentioned that you all watched quite a few films, and it seems like you had your game plan together this past weekend. And I'm sure a lot of the fans were excited to see that as well. I have one question. We're able to move the ball on the field rather well, but we're not putting any points on the board. Not just from the past weekend, but from the previous games that we played. What are we doing to try to improve the number of points we put in?
And that's the thing, you know, we always talk about that as a coaching staff, and especially offensive coaching staff, for what we're doing to improve that. And the biggest thing is just like before halftime, and, you know, we got a chance to score a touchdown there and just fail to execute the play that was called. And that's the biggest thing. And like I said, we stopping ourselves. It's not nothing the other team doing. If we just execute and continue to try to get better at that, I think we'll be a whole lot better. But you know, we're going to have to get better at that. That's one thing that we looked at, the points that we're scoring and the points that our opposition is scoring. So we got to really do a better job of putting the ball in when we're down in that area there.
Well, the finals. Oh, Chelsea, you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to mention also, I see that Aaron Baker's really playing some good ball this season since he's been back in action. Do you have plans to continue to use him more?
Oh yeah, I mean Baker's a piece of work. He had 13 carries for 93 yards. If he just keep running straight on that one run, he'll have over 100 yards. So you know, that's why I try to just make sure that you know he's not a joker and all that kind of stuff. He's just a straight down the hill runner. And yes, man, we're gonna continue to do that with him. And he's a big part of this offense.
Well, keep up the good work, and you have your fan base that's going to support you all the way. So let's continue to improve and continue to be the winners that we are.
Thank you, Ms. Chelsea.
Thank you.
All right, Chelsea, thank you very much. Chelsea joining us from Natchez. The final score, Coach, was 52-10 in the game. So when you look at it, you know, the one thing that pleased me the most, we talked about the energy and the fight, and defensively, you know, that 4th and 1 that they had, they kind of went up the seam on us. Talk about their receivers and tight end, and especially their quarterback, Austin Allen, how we were trying to rattle him a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. Just like I said earlier, Charles, and they have a big, powerful running game. They run down here with the ISO and a little counter here and there, and then they come back and do a lot of play action, misdirection stuff in their routes and stuff like that. When you like that and you can really run the ball as well as they do, you're gonna find some seams in the secondary, because now the defensive players in the secondary is trying to read keys and instead of watching that receiver go up the seam and stuff like that. But we just gotta continue to get better with our eyes and our reads and stuff like that. But you know, hopefully, you know, this week of preparation we'll get a whole lot better at that.
They were going to feature the young running back in Whaley. You heard the highlight of what he did. Arkansas had 2 running backs with over 100 yards rushing. Whaley with 135, and Williams, we kind of featured him. We knew he would be the featured back. He had 126 yards. What was the key to trying to slow them down?
Well, the biggest thing is, you know, you have to tackle those guys and the power scheme that they have running. You know, Whaley got his off that big run for that 75 yards, and like I said, we were just over gap, I think, in that technique that we played there, and we just out of gap and just not making the plays on those guys. But you know, my hat's off to the coaching staff over there, with Coach Braden. You know, got a good scheme going, and those guys are well coached too. So you know, hopefully we won't face another team that run the ball as well as they do. But we just got to get better in what we're doing on defense, and hopefully this week of preparation we'll get that done.
Well, let's go inside the numbers. Noah Johnson, 13 of 19, 2 interceptions, 158 yards. He was sacked twice. Talk about our offensive line and trying to create holes in space. We had 155 yards rushing the football. You talked about how thin we were at that position, but despite that, talk about the job that they did.
I mean, I'm very proud of the way Stanchek got those guys to play. All week we know going into that ball game that we were going to be very short of the linemen. Losing Kevin Hall that week of practice, and you know, Tim Gardner, he didn't practice the whole week, so we know we was going to be thin at that position. And just for those guys, where they go out and where they just come and compete, with the leadership of Antonio Dave at the center spot. Those two guys on the tackle spot position, William Gardner and I think it was Eric McNair. The way those guys played, man, they just just played well. And I think it was just one sack that we gave up because one of them, I think they erased. But you're looking at you dropping back, throwing the ball 19 times, and against a SEC team like that, you give up one sack. Not having your full line in there, that's big for them. And it's growth. That's one thing that we talked about, maturity level. And I think that was a good test for them to grow up and see what we had to play when it come down time to them to play. So it was good for them.
How rare is it at this point in the season to be thin up front?
I tell you what, it's very rare because you don't lose them early in the season, early in the year, because you can kind of, during camp, you can kind of gauge how well you're going to work those guys and stuff like that. But that bug hit us kind of early, but I think right now the recovery time is sitting right at the right time right now. So getting ready to go into a hostile environment in Huntsville. Now we got those guys that's been hurt for 2 weeks. Now we get those guys back. The starters back, and now we know we have solid backups because the way those guys played against Arkansas. So it's very good, and I think it's just the right time that we get no guys back at this time of the year.
We talked about it, 155 yards rushing. Aaron Baker, seems like he's in mid-season form already with the way he's running over guys.
Oh, he is, and he's gonna run the ball hard, and this is his life, and this is what he loves to do. He talks about it every day, and after missing 2 games, and he kind of understand that this is the way it's gonna be done. And but he took those 2 games and came back in shape, and you see from what we're putting on the field with him, with the carries and the yards he's picking up, he's been doing a real good job for us.
DeLance Turner, 11 carries, just 21 net yards. Not a lot of yards there for DeLance Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of pick and choose there. I mean, some of it were, it's an option for him. We give it or not, may not be the best at that time, but he's a solid player for us. I think he's more of a blocker, schemer, protective guy, good in the passing game. He got great hands, and that's what we try to do in this game, just kind of put him out wide and maybe we get some throws to him and let him make some plays that way.
Tip McKenzie, almost 100 yards in reception, 7 for 88. LaDarian Davis, 2 for 9. Jalen Walker, 1 for 39. Collins Moore, 1 for 11. So that's the receiving statistic. Hayden McRaney, 5 punts for a 42-yard average. Talk about the job that he's done.
I mean, I tell you what, you're talking about digging yourself out of a hole, and you got a punter like Hayden that kind of, especially if you're in the back up in your own turf, and for him to get the ball out like he did, and he's a great punter. He's a great thing for us to have, when we can't move the ball and get us out of the hole there.
Defensively, Coach, to talk about who really stepped up, as Daniel Franklin led the way with 11 tackles, Eric Foster behind him with 6.
I tell you what, Dan, he was a questionable guy before the game because he was. I think Friday night when we got there, he had an earache, and I think Doc saw him and got him some medicine Friday night, and Saturday morning woke up and he was very questionable. But she put him through a test, and so he passed and he was able to play. And just very surprised that he come out and make those plays that he made. And then Eric Foster, like I said, he's a solid defensive player for us, and I think. A lot of times by him knowing too much kind of gets him in trouble a lot of times because he overthinks the process of really what he's supposed to do in situations and stuff like that. But he's a solid player for us, and we just got to keep getting guys better and on that defensive side. And we got a little depth now on defense now. We got some guys back off injury. Marshawn Smith, we got Kawanza Jackson back off. So those guys so hopefully this is the right time of the year that we get everybody health and we make this push for this thing. And I talked about that today with those guys in the meeting, getting everybody back with depth and making sure that we doing all the right things to make this run.
A couple of tweets have come in about the injury situation. One comment first, we competed at a very high level against a superior opponent. The question is the health of DB Nick Brown.
Yeah, well, Nick, I think he kind of pulled up there on that 75-yard gas though. He's trying to run the guy down, and I think he just kind of tweaked his groin a little bit. But I think he'll be okay. Got him to the doctor today, and I think he's just gonna be battling with a little soreness there. But I think we look forward to him playing this weekend. Speaking
of injuries, of course, Lenore's Footman didn't start. No Marquise Warford. So just talk about those two.
Well, I think Lenore's we wasn't gonna play him this game. We just made our mind up and just set him out and let him get him better because we're going into our SWAC schedule now, and we'll need him. Just like I said, Noah Johnson did a great job for us. They're coming in and being a backup, for the last few games, and but hopefully starting tonight, we're getting the noise back and see how he works out. And I asked him today, and I think he's going to be 100%. So we'll see where he at at practice tonight and the rest of the week. But we always take those guys like Noah and Footman, and we give them the same amount of reps in practice, so he know at least what's going on as far as our game plan. Warford, just questionable right now. We got a chance to see the doctor today, and his extent of his shoulder injury. That's just him just being tough. The Bethune-Cookman game, the guy really put a hit on him, and I wish he would have never took that lick. And I have talked to him about that, but just rest right now for him, and I don't know if we'll get him back this week or not.
Wow, so no Warford. Talk about just how Footman's been able to stay loose. I know he wants to be out there, but you want to be patient and careful with him.
Well, the biggest thing is, during practice time and just mental reps for him all last week, and but he threw against Pascal. His drop back was good. Didn't see any hinders in his ankle as far as what he can do in the passing game, and I think he ran the ball a little bit in practice last week, and I didn't see no limps in his running. So like I said, hopefully tonight we'll look at him again tonight, and he will practice tonight. So we'll get a chance to see how it works out.
All right, 45 minutes after the hour. And before we take a break, we want to remind everyone, we talked about it earlier, if you're looking for a ride to go to Huntsville, Gerald Quinn in Brookhaven, he's got a bus that he'll have ready to roll. They'll leave at 2 o'clock Saturday morning, and it's $83 per seat. It's bus fare only. On the bus, it's DirecTV and Wi-Fi. So if you're interested, give them a call, 601-754-1177, 601-754-1177. We'll take a time out here, 46 minutes after the hour, the SWAC report. We'll go over the scores and standings, and we'll get ready for Alabama A&M at Cruz Stadium at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We'll take a 1-minute break. The Fred McNair radio show will continue.
You read the last two I had.
Okay. Well, I was talking about that.
Yeah.
Is it loud? Yeah.
All for needs your support and full funding of our legislative agenda and the 2017 Mississippi Legislative Session.
What's that?
Save the dates too in February.
Oh, I can. I mean, whenever y'all fits it in. No, she said I have a question. I said if you fit it in, yeah, but otherwise.
Well, you kind of see how it goes.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year
Huh?
for grants, loans, and work study funds.
You're not going to have it.
Higher education possible for
Why not?
anyone at
I'm
any
gonna come back next week and watch one more time.
No.
Oh, he gonna give me the car trunk. I make my own playback.
Big go, Mr. Bones.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
All right, welcome back. Charles Edmond here, Keisha Shelby in studio, Jamario Brooks in Studio A, Larry Sanders here shooting it on the YouTube Mass Communications channel. Head coach Fred McNair here. Glad you can join us on this Monday night. Another tweet. I know you never feel good about a loss, but there were some good things that made the team feel good about themselves. In a game like that, everyone you talk to said, man, it's going to be a lopsided score, but we had chances and we hung in there. How did the team feel getting on the bus, in the locker room, getting dressed, heading back home?
You know, after the game's over with, you know, I go in the locker room and I say my final things, and the biggest thing that those guys know that they really fought hard and they battled, and you know, I'm in tears at that point to way those guys went out and compete with an SEC team like that, and they felt good about themselves, and now they know, you know, the games that we had in the past that should have never happened. But they know now we just got to just go out and work hard and compete every day from here on out to reach our ultimate goal. But they feel good about it, and I had, like I said, the meeting today was really good. The team meeting was really good, and just let them know to understand, you know, you have to play that way every week, no matter what you got. You have to just put forth the effort to play hard and every week that you play, you know. So. They know that, and I think the effort will be there come Saturday against A&M.
Here's a tweet that has come in, and you know, when you have two quarterbacks playing well, we know Lenore's Footman did before he got hurt. Noah Johnson's doing the same, so you know the obvious question. This came in a form of a tweet. Do we have a possible quarterback situation brewing?
Not right now. I mean, you know, I talked to Lenore's, and he knows that what his job is right now, and he's doing a tremendous job at it. And you know, just from a veteran standpoint, going into this SWAC play, I think that we're gonna need Footman back there, and that's one of the reasons that we really just been kind of being really cautious with him the last couple of weeks that we've been making preparation for this run. And but I know this: if something did happen to Footman, that Lenore should come in and get the job done. We really found that out in the last few weeks that he played. So we feel good about our situation that we're in with those quarterbacks, and you know, no controversy there, and I think that Lenore knows that, and we talked about it, and but you know, he's going to be that solid player for us, and if something does happen to Footman, but Footman going to come in, I think, and give us a good spark along the way here throughout the SWAC line.
Just to piggyback off the quarterback situation, that's the way I was thinking about it. It's, some people may see it as a problem, i.e. a quarterback, you know, battle going on, but it's a good problem to have, because we know that, you know, if Lenore's can't, you know, come back, we hope he can, but if he can't, I think we're in good hands.
Oh, I ain't no doubt. I mean, I have all the confidence in the world in Noah Johnson, the way he's been playing. You know, and I talked with him about it during the game on Saturday. You know, just kind of, you know, those freshman's mistakes that he's making, and you know, and just making sure that he read it out once he see the defense, and you know, put us in a situation where we can you know, make plays that way. But I think that, you know, that he's doing a great job, and you know, the battle, you know, will be, you know, in the trenches this week, and I think that our offensive linemen and the coaching staff are ready for that battle, and that's where it's going to be won at. You know, with Lenore's coming back, it's going to be a great addition to what we do in the backfield as far as everything that we do, and I think it's going to be good for us this week.
Coach, you know, everybody's, you know, used to this winning, and everybody, and I want to see, you know, fans hollering this three-peat and all like that, but talk a little bit about what it takes to not let the team overheat. And remind, they play one game at a time, and build on it, that it doesn't happen. Just one game's not going to win the whole thing, but people, you know, but what it really takes to get the kids to understand is just one game at a time.
And that's what I preached all during tour day, Mr. Barnes, to these kids, you know, and you know, they was breaking everything they was doing. They was breaking down on three-peat, and I stopped them one day, and I said, understand something. What it's going to take to do that? Hard work and dedication for one, and you can only play one game at a time. I said, you know, game is not won at practice, it's not won overnight, but on Saturday when you come to play, make sure you're ready to play, make sure you're ready to compete, and make sure you're ready to work hard for that. And
exactly, because, I mean, we're back-to-back champs, but you have to know and understand that every team's objective that we play is to make sure they beat the champs.
And that's the thing too. I even mentioned that today in the meeting, and I told them, I said, let me go back. I said, when Arkansas Pine Bluff beat us, they haven't won a game since. I said, they got their trophy on their shelf right now.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's what every team is trying to do. It don't matter. It don't matter if they go to the SWAC championship or not. It don't matter
They
how
just
far
want
they
to beat
go.
us.
Everybody want to beat Alcorn just for those reasons. And I told them, guys, we have to understand that. So every game on Saturday we play, we're going to get everybody's best punch. They're going to try to knock us out. And we got to have that mentality that it's not going to happen. We got to come in ready to fight every week. So with that, I think they understand that now. And we just got to go up and get ready for a good James Spady football team.
All right, it's 53 minutes after. Time for a quick phone call. Tommy calling from Edwards. Good evening, Tommy.
I'm doing fine, sir. How you doing?
We got two good running backs. We're not utilizing them enough. We're not running them enough. You pound the ball, just like we did last year. Don't do anything changing anything we did for last year. Keep what you got. You had Walker, you was running, in the backfield, the people. Keep them like you want. You, Baker, and Turner. Let them pound the ball like they did all along. When you pound the ball, what is your offensive line, your defensive line now? But we're not doing it. We had Baker last year, I think last game. We had 1 yard run, and you took them out. And to get a first down, you took them out. And you was pounding the ball running 8, 9 yards, here's a carry. But then you took them out when 1 yard is gone. So, I don't think
And that's the one, sir. And that's
not only on the player, but also on the coaches themselves. We making too many mistakes on both sides. I mean, players and coaches.
All right,
We have to look at it, kind of get all this together now. We got conference games coming up right now, and we lose these. You looking at Jackson State, they right there. They gonna beat you, and all they got to do is beat us. Because everybody now is out to beat us now. Because our secondary, one thing, don't let this, receiver get and run from the guy who stay behind you. But we not, I don't know if the coach them going there, we not telling them what to do, or I don't know if that's what's going on, but we need to improve on it.
all right. All right, Tommy, thank you very much for your call.
Bye-bye.
it's definitely not something we're teaching. I promise you that. We do not go out and teach that kind of football to other coaching staff, and we're doing everything in our power to teach these kids the right thing to do. We don't go out and teach these kids, let the receiver get behind them. That's not what we teach. We teach these kids fundamental work, and just like I said, it's the nature of football. It happens sometime, but it's not supposed to happen. But we just gotta continue to work with our guys and make them better in those situations.
All right, it's 56 minutes after. We'll take our final break. I'll give you the standings quickly and a quick preview of A&M when we come back in 1 minute on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
Marshawn Lynch had the best answer to a question that I've heard, and I don't know when they threw that interception at the Super Bowl. And they went in, they asked him, said, weren't you surprised that you didn't get the football? He said, no. And they said, why not? He said, it's a team sport. He said, you play everybody, you make a decision. What's best for the team at that moment. He said, no, I wasn't surprised. He said, football team sport.
That's right. That's right.
So, he did. He said, no, I wasn't surprised. Team sport.
All right, 57 minutes after, let's recap some of the scores from around the league. Grambling beat Prairie View 36-16. Texas Southern on a 51-yard field goal beat A&M at the Horn 34-31. Jackson State 16, Mississippi Valley 14. And the Braves sitting right now 1-2, one game behind Jackson State, who's off this week. They've got Southern next week. Jackson State is 2-1. Alabama A&M 1-3. Bama State 1-3. Valley 0-4. Coach, it's the 2-minute warning of the McNair Show. Give us your thoughts on what we can expect with Alabama A&M on their homecoming Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Well, I know one thing, Charles. They'll be ready to play against us, and they got a great quarterback in Ballard. He what makes the team go. They got a good running back in Bentley, and I think last game against Texas Southern, he carried the ball 20 times for 115 yards. They're going to be a solid. They've got a receiving core. Trevor McKenzie and Jonathan Dawson. Those guys are going to be very solid, and I think James Spady going to have those guys ready to play. We just got to go with our mind made up and with a good attitude about it, and play our caliber football with all the guys coming back. And it'll be a very interesting game, and just think that Brave fans just come out and support the team, and we got a lot of them guys going to play, and a lot of interesting things may happen, but. Just come out and be supportive, and let's try to get this victory against A&M.
Final game of this 3-game road trip, Coach. Glad to get this one over with and get home for homecoming.
Yes, indeed, man. It'll be much better to get home.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next Monday night.
Thank you, Charles.
That's head coach Fred McNair on the Fred McNair Radio Show. Glad you can join us on this Monday night. We'll be on the air at 1:30 from Cruz Stadium. Kickoff at 2 o'clock. We'll be keeping track of the scores as well. Don't forget you can listen to the McNair Show if you missed some or all of this program. We'll have it on my Facebook page, Charles Edmond, or on Twitter, Tallman Radio, coming up shortly. That'll do it for the Fred McNair Radio Show on the All-Corn Football Radio Network. Glad you can join us. Let's get a Braves win, and we'll talk to you next week, same time, same channel, here on the Fred McNair Radio Show. For our producer, Jamaria Brooks, I'm Charles Edmond. So long.